Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep, and I'm Saral here with you. In today's session, we'll be talking about it, that what exactly the session is all about. So I'll be talking about it soon, but before that, please confirm, is everything okay? Am I clearly audible to you? Am I clearly visible to you? Any kind of issues, any problems? Please confirm once. Is everything okay, guys? A very good evening to all of you. Good evening, Rajesh. It's not afternoon. Rajesh says it's good afternoon. So very good evening to all of you. I hope I am clearly audible and visible to all the people on the app, as well as to all the people who are watching me on YouTube. Just confirm once, is everything okay or not? Hi Shubhraj Singh, very good evening. Thank you very much. Hi Ujjwal Mehta, very good evening. Hi Suraj, good evening. Aman Kushwaha, very good evening. Good evening Nitya. Rajesh says yes, it is okay. Hi Tathagat, good evening. Nice name Tathagat. I am audible. Okay, thank you. So I hope everything is okay. Good evening Sharad Chandra, good evening Payal, and good evening everyone else who's here and is able to hear me. Satyam and Prashant as well. So now the exam is very near. CAT exam is on 28th of November, and yesterday only we had our admit cards with us, and the moment we have the admit cards, then we start feeling the heat a little bit. Now something has started happening, right? The exam is around the corner. Around exactly 1 week is 1 month is left from today, and most of the people that I have met, they are saying that we have got the afternoon slot. I don't know how much truth is there in that statement, but that's the story with me. What most of the people have told me is this: ये हम लोगों का ज़्यादातर लोगों का जो है, we have got it as the afternoon slot. So I would like to ask you people as well, what slot you have got. So though I asked in one of my classes, and then I saw it was actually bilkul equally distributed. 6 people had slot 1, 6 people had slot 2, 7 people had slot 3, something like that was there. But I'm very sure, of course, the situation would be the same. Equal number of people would be there in each slot. So which slot you guys have got? Just if you can tell me. Hi, good evening Priyanka, Vicky, very good evening. Vicky Chittam, good evening. Ronak, Mahima, good evening. So Ujjwal has got afternoon slot. Vicky has got afternoon slot. Shobit has got the evening slot. Neelav has got evening slot, and then Piyush afternoon, Danish morning, Tathagat slot 1. So here also I see that it is kind of equally distributed. So probably my assumption was wrong. I was just had this thing in my mind. Okay, that's great. So now let's come to the exam now. Of course, the slots are not important, and this also is very important thing to discuss, because I'm getting messages from many students. Sir, slot 1 would be easier, or slot 2 would be easier? Slot 3 is the toughest one, or what? So last year, what was the difficulty level in these slots? So I just say, just put all these assumptions to rest. Put all these queries to rest. There is no point thinking of these things and getting confused by this. Whichever slot is easy, whichever slot is difficult, it is not going to impact anywhere on your percentile, because ultimately a normalization is done. All of you already know this, that normalization is done. So how much difference does that make? So if a slot is difficult or not. So I remember that last year in quantitative ability, I had slot 1, and with respect to slot 3, the slot 1 was slightly more difficult. So the number of questions I got correct, it was around 2 less than the number of questions one of my colleagues got correct, and I got a better percentile than him. Of course, the reason is that in my slot, quant was slightly tougher, and his slot, this quant was slightly easier. So of course, it does not make a difference at all. If it is difficult for 1/3 of the people who are there in your slot. 1/3 of the total people, right? And if it is easy, the same story is there. Though we always want that it should be easy, है ना? Easy सुन के अच्छा लगता है. When you are able to do the questions, you always feel good about it. Okay, I'm able to do the questions. So if I'm able to do 16, 17 questions out of 2022, I'll be very happy. Even if all the other people have done 18-19 questions, but still I'll be happy because I have done a lot of questions. So that is always there. This is a psychic, actually we are not able to come out of it. But yes, please do not think about these things. So we'll start with our today's thing. So what exactly are we doing? First of all, this series is called Last Lap to CAT, and I saw that many students were asking for this. And they were waiting actually for this, that okay, we have done the syllabus, sometimes we have forgotten some of the things, so what can we do? So what should we do? Can you have some revision session or something? So this is what we have brought over here. So we have 20 free sessions in these upcoming days from 28th of October to 1st of November. Of course, you all know that 28th October se 1st November tak, these are not 20 days, more than 20. That means the sessions would not be every day, but of course this is not that high as well. That means they would be almost an every day. So today we have a session at 7 p.m. though the sessions will always be at 7 p.m. right? So the next session now going to be on day after tomorrow, that is Saturday. Saturday session would be taken by Pranav Pant sir, which is on matrix and arrangement, which is a topic of LRDI. Today we are talking about quantitative ability, and on that day only you will get the complete schedule on which day at what time you would be having these classes. So currently mark this time, day after tomorrow 7 p.m. Pranav sir would be taking matrix and arrangement. It's a topic of LRDI which will be taken by him. Okay. And here you see that I am there, Gautam sir is there, he's I am Calcutta alumnus, and Savitri ma'am, as I just saw that Shagufta, Vicky is very happy about it. Okay, so these people and many other teachers as well, they would be taking all these sessions now. So we have Pranav sir with us, we have Gaurav sir with us, Vikas sir, we have Pradeep sir, we have Nikita ma'am, and I might be forgetting some names. ठीक है, लेकिन जो अभी तक जो आप लोग पढ़ते आए हैं बायजूस एग्जाम प्रेप पे, so whatever teachers you have seen, they all would be there with you in these coming days for these sessions. Okay, so what are we going to discuss? We are not only revising the concepts. Do not think that what am I going to do? Okay, let us start teaching percentages again. Let us start teaching profit, loss and discount again. Of course not. So even if there is a need of it, I would say that means you are not suitable for CAT 2021. So if there is a need to learn the concepts at this stage, that's not the right time for CAT 21. That means you have to prepare for 22. For CAT 21, this is the time where you know the concepts. We just brush up them once and we start doing some questions. So what we have done, we have taken some highly probable questions with past years analysis, right? What kind of questions have appeared in the previous years? Based on those, we have created questions which are highly probable to appear. I mean, I'm not saying exactly the same question is going to appear in the exam, but very close to that. The concepts used would be almost the same that we'll be discussing through these questions. This is what we are going to do today. And yes, strategies and techniques. So how to solve these questions faster? Can you use some options over there? Any shortcuts, any numbers that you can assume? These are the kind of things that we are going to discuss in these coming days. Okay, that's all we would be doing, and this is last lap to CAT 2021, and arithmetic is something that we are having today. So I'll start with that. Hi Pratik, hello, and I might have missed some of your wishes. So Moni, Sumant, Priyanka, Prashant, and many people are there. Al-Amin and Shubhraj. I think some question is there by Shagufta Naz. इजी स्लॉट परसेंटाइल लो हो जाती है सर. शगुफ्ता, इजी स्लॉट होगा, स्कोर वुड गो अप, राइट? परसेंटाइल क्यों लो होगा? सो फॉर एन इजी स्लॉट जिसका 50 स्कोर है, ए पर्सन इन ए टफर स्लॉट 40 स्कोर जो है, दे वुड हैव द सेम परसेंटाइल. तो इसको लो होना नहीं बोलते, इसको नॉर्मलाइज करना बोलते हैं. दैट इज द पॉइंट. सर कैट की वेबसाइट में तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं लिखा है कि हार्ड पेपर आया तो मार्क्स ज्यादा होके नॉर्मलाइज हो जाते हैं. कोई बात नहीं, इफ दे राइट और नॉट, आई एम टेलिंग यू. ठीक है, सो yesterday only I figured out something. I was teaching in a class, so I was teaching calendars and I got to know that there was a girl in the class. Her age was equal, her age in years was equal to the number of times I have appeared for CAT. So with that experience I can say that yes, this is true. ये होता है, ऐसा ही होता है. शुभ्रा, सर स्लाइड प्रॉब्लम क्यूए तक आते आते माइंडफुलनेस कम हो जाती है, एरर्स होते हैं मॉक में, कोई टिप्स दे दीजिए. शुभ्राज, ऑफ कोर्स, इसके लिए क्या टिप्स दे सकता हूं? आई कैन ओनली से दैट मेक इट ए हैबिट टू सिट फॉर 3 hours एंड डूइंग ब्रेन एक्सरसाइजेस. सो स्टार्ट डूइंग इट फ्रॉम द मॉक टेस्ट. मॉक टेस्ट होते ही इसलिए है. व्हाई डू वी डू दीज? सो दैट यू गेट इनटू द हैबिट ऑफ सिटिंग फॉर 3 hours एंड डूइंग थिंग्स. इसी पर्पस के लिए तो ये करते हैं. So start doing these things. ठीक है. Start doing meditation if you are feeling that you are getting distracted in between or you start feeling underconfident or something. So in such cases, I would say just start sitting for 3 hours. That is important. Okay, and especially for the people who have got the morning slot, so I would say this to all of you. ठीक है, people in the morning slot, many of us do not have a habit of getting up early in the morning. So many of you would be feeling that okay, कोई बात नहीं, next time कर लेंगे. When the day exam is there, we will just get up that day early. I would say at least start doing this 15 days before the exam. If you do not have a habit of getting up early, because आज की जनता यही होता है, they sleep at 3 a.m. and normally they wake up at 11 or 12. So I would say start making this habit. Otherwise you will go to the exam और जाते ही नींद आने लगेगी, you won't be able to do good. So make it a habit at least 15-16 days before the exam. ध्यान में रखिएगा, ये आपको करना है. Okay? Okay, so how to adjust our biological clock? Probably I just gave you this answer, Vimal. Start doing that 15 days before it. Siddharth has a question, Mr. Nesher, what will be the duration of each session of last lab? It will be of 90 minutes, Mr. Siddharth. And what else? वैभव, हेलो सर, बहुत दिनों के बाद देखा. मैंने भी बहुत दिनों बाद देखा वैभव, अच्छा लग रहा मुझे भी. गुड इवनिंग सोनाक्षी. अच्छा सर, I need to ask something regarding MTI Gurugram. Can I contact you? Not here. After the class you can. Okay, बाद में कर लीजिएगा. That can be done. Okay. Hello Shivani and Sagar. So let us start with our today's session. What we are doing. So first of all, what is the weightage of the topics in CAT? So when I talk about arithmetic, right? So we are talking about quantitative ability here. The area is quantitative aptitude. ठीक है. Sub area is arithmetic. And what is the weightage? I would say, anyways, probably all of you know this. Most important area in quantitative aptitude. This is one area from which you get approximately 1/3 of the section. So when there used to be 34 questions in quantitative aptitude, generally 13-14 questions were there from arithmetic. Last year when there were 26 questions, so there were approximately 9-10 questions from arithmetic. So of course again this year also approximately 1/3 of the paper would be from arithmetic. Quantitative aptitude section would be from arithmetic. So that makes it the most important area. ठीक है. और वो क्वेश्चंस इतने होते हैं that if you do all those questions, that will be sufficient to get a percentile somewhere around 80-85. Just by doing all the questions of arithmetic. ठीक है. Mostly this happens. Just ये मत सोचेगा I am giving you this figure that okay, by doing 9 questions you will get 85 percentile. You might get 98 as well at 8. You might get 68 as well. So that depends upon the difficulty level of the paper. Okay. Jyoti, my slot is afternoon slot again. Okay. So let's start with this. So topics to be discussed. What all topics are we going to discuss? We are going to discuss percentages and its application and area. Almost all of you are comfortable with. Ratios and its applications, time and work, time, speed and distance. And I repeat, our main focus would be to apply these concepts in the questions rather than teaching you the topics. I would not be doing that. Keep that in mind. That does not make any sense as well. वो हम लोग नहीं करने वाले हैं. Okay, so very good evening Sita and Jyoti, Payal, everyone. So might have missed again some names. Sir, evening slot में QA, LRDI, VRC ये 3 parts होते हैं. पायल, ये 3 parts तीनों slots में होते हैं. ठीक है. दो ये question थोड़ा सा मुझे अजीब लग रहा है सुनने में, that why are you asking this? Okay जी, so let us start with percentages and its application. शुरुआत करते हैं यहाँ से percentages and its application से. So what are we going to do? Percentages and its applications. So you all know that percentages is not only important from the perspective of questions which are directly based upon it, but it is also useful for LRDI, especially for DI, right? Whenever we have sets for data interpretation, most of the times those questions in data interpretation would be based upon percentages. So not only that you have to be good at these formulas that I have written on the screen, you should also be very good at calculating some of the values like this number is what percentage of this number is what percentage less than this number is what percentage more than this number. These kind of things would also be needed for you. right? And of course the reciprocal equivalents of percentages that you all know. 1 by 2 is 50%, 1 by 3 is 33.33%, 1 by 5 is 20%. So these kind of things. Again, this is not a stage where I tell you that you have to do this. This is a stage where you should already be knowing that, okay, we have to be good at it. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me just switch on the AC. It is getting warm. हाँ जी, अब ठीक है, because of these lights it gets very hot here. ठीक है जी. So first of all, some of the formulas that I'm discussing over here about percentages, these are the percentage increase and decrease, which is equal to final value minus original value upon original value into 100, the most basic formula of percentage increase or decrease, right? Successive increase or decrease, that is plus minus a plus minus b plus minus a into plus minus b divided by 100. Why are we writing plus minus a plus minus b? Because in case of this formula of successive increase or decrease, even if there is a decrease, you can work with this formula. If there is a decrease, you work with the negative sign. If there is an increase, you work with the positive sign, right? So suppose I have increased the price by 20% and 30%. I would write 20 plus 30 plus 20 into 30 by 100, which gives me the net percentage increase. But if he tells you that first the price is increased by 20% and then it is decreased by 30%, so you can write plus 20 and then minus 30 and then plus 20 into minus 30 divided by 100, which will tell you that what is the net percentage change. Successive percentage change is something on the basis of which I have seen many a times questions have been asked in different exams. It is not only about CAT. You will find questions based upon this in ZAT, IFT, NMAT, TIS or SNAP or whatever other exams you would be appearing for. So almost in every exam you will find questions on this. Sometimes directly on successive percentage, where you would be very clear to you. They will generally write this, that the price of a certain article has been decreased by 10% and 20% successively. So what is the net price of the article? Of course, such a question would not appear in an exam like CAT or ZAT, because they would be asking you something difficult from that, right? But such things also appear जहाँ पे वो directly बोल देते हैं सीधा सीधा. Sometimes they would give you some twisted form. I have seen such a question in CAT as well as an exam of MICA. I hope you would have heard of it. MyCAT exam is there. So and in IFT as well, in 1 year I saw the same question. I mean in different forms, that there are 3 employees, their salaries are increased by certain percentages successively. So who has got the largest increase, who has got the smallest increase, those kind of things. So I will be talking about those basic things as well, but before that, these are the 2 basic formulas. Now I am going to talk about those things which might create a confusion for you most of the times in these questions. जैसे if I talk about this formula, percentage increase or decrease का ये formula है final value minus original value upon final into 100. Sometimes we are not able to figure out that what is the base. What should I write in the denominator? If it's a case of decrease, it looks like we have to write the smaller number. A value has decreased from 100 to 60. A value has decreased from 100 to 60. Is this color visible? I don't think so. है ना? शायद ये वाला visible होगा. ये ठीक है ना? A value has decreased from 100 to 60. So I would say final value minus original value. This comes out to be negative, right? So 60 minus 100 is minus 40 and divided by original value. So what should I write the original value? I have decreased 60 minus 100. So 60 should be written or 100 should be written. That's a common question. I give you one single thumb rule, that whatever is written after of or whatever is written after then, this is the base of your percentages. This is 99% of the times true. Okay? समटाइम्स आई मीन जब बिल्कुल ही अलग तरह की इक्वेशन बनाने की कोशिश करेगा, कुछ और लिखने की कोशिश करेगा, तो आपको कंफ्यूजन हो सकती है. बट इन 99% ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस दिस वुड बी ट्रू फॉर यू दैट whatever is written after of or whatever is written after then, that is the base. For example, students who like mathematics is what percentage of the number of boys? Of the number of boys. So number of boys is the base. ठीक है. Similarly, for second, the revenue of a company in 2003 was what percentage less than the revenue in 2004? What percentage less than the revenue in 2004? So जो then के बाद है revenue in 2004, that is the base. Base is what? Which is written in the denominator. उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं base. I hope you are getting this. This is something that I have seen most of the people have a confusion in. So therefore I just want to discuss that. Second thing, when I talk about successive increase or decrease, is it necessary to use the formula? The answer is no. It is not necessary to use the formula. You can also use those kind of things. If you remember, multiplying factor जिसको हम बोलते थे. The price of an article is increased by 20% and 30%. So I can also do 1.2 times हो गया 20% increase. 1.3 times हो गया if it is 30% increase. So if the price is increased by 20% and 30%, I can also say it has become 1.2 into 1.3 times, which is 1.56 times. The price has become 1.56 times, or I can say it has increased by 56%. That also can be done by using the formula where you put A as 20, B as 30, and then 20 into 30 by 100. Okay? Again, this is the basic of it. But what is the important point? Important point is here, this is something that has been asked in some of the exams and it is important as well. अब मैं उसके बारे में बात कर रहा हूं because there have been questions based upon this property that I'm going to talk about, that if A plus B is constant, if A plus B is constant, the maximum percentage increase is there when A and B are closest. The maximum percentage increase is there when A and B are closest, and minimum percentage increase is there when A and B are farthest. For example, if I just tell you about one of the questions that has been asked in CAT in one of the years, the question was the salaries of some employees were equal in a particular year. In the next 2 years, the salary of person A, so salaries of person A, he says, increased by K% and then K plus 1%. Salary of B increased by K minus 1 and K plus 2%. Salary of C increased by K minus 2 and K plus 3%. So which of these guys will have the maximum salary after 2 years? The values are given in terms of K. If you know the property, you would do this question in 10 seconds. If you don't know this, it will take around 33 minutes. Okay? It will take a lot of time. And such a question I have seen, as I told you, in my CAT exam. I have seen this question in IFT as well. So this is something that is important for you. In the formula of successive percentage increase or decrease, if A plus B is constant, the maximum increase is there when they are closest, the minimum increase is there when they are farthest. So here in such a scenario, you will see K and K plus 1, they add up to 2K plus 1. K minus 1, K plus 2, they add up to 2K plus 1. K minus 2, K plus 3, they add up to 2K plus 1. Every time they are adding up to 2K plus 1. And if every time they add up to 2K plus 1, that means A plus B is constant. When it is constant, in that case, maximum increase is there when they are closest. So in the first case, they are closest. This is how it is used. Okay. The same thing can be used in case of discounts as well, but keep that in mind. When it is discounts, they are opposite of each other. When A and B are closest, you will have minimum discount, and when A and B are farthest, you have maximum discounts. The reason is discounts come with a negative sign. So सीधी बात है, with a positive sign, whatever becomes maximum, with a negative sign that becomes minimum. Similarly, with a positive sign, whatever becomes minimum, with a negative sign that becomes maximum. So for successive discounts, the rules would change, but for a normal increase, the rules are these. Okay, I hope all of you are getting this, whatever I am telling you. Is this clear to all of you? Can I move forward? मुझे बस इतना भी बताते रहो साथ साथ. Is the speed okay? Because I am just assuming that these basic things should be known to you. The things which are slightly advanced, which might be used in the exam, I'll keep discussing those things alongside. So what I have written the basic formulas. और उसके बारे में जो काम की चीजें जो मुझे नजर आती हैं, I'll be discussing those. And later on, at the end of it, we will be discussing a lot of questions, which I told you कि वो हम लोग उस basis पे करेंगे, which appear in CAT. Okay? So Vicky says it is okay. Jyoti, Piyush, Ujjwal, Shivani and Rakshana, Raha, they all are saying it is okay. Thank you guys. And on the app as well, I would like people to say whether it is all okay or not. Priyanka, Simran, Payal, Aman, Rohan, all. Thank you very much guys. So let's move forward to the second one now. Second slide. Percentages is an important area for us, right? There are uses of percentages not only in percentages but in profit, loss and discount as well. Also in simple interest and compound interest. So I will be talking about all those things one by one. Let's start with this now. Percentages and its applications in profit and loss. So what exactly is profit, loss and discount? Profit, loss and discount में apart from percentages, rather it is completely percentages, but अगर मैं specifically percentage ना बोलूं, what are the terms that are used? One is profit percentage, loss percentage, and one is discount percentage. Apart from these two, there is one more percentage which is used sometimes, that is markup percentage. Which is markup percentage. What is percentage profit or percentage loss? It is profit or loss as a percentage of cost price. What is percentage discount? It is discount as a percentage of marked price. And there is a percentage which is hardly used, but let's just talk about it. अगर बात कर ही रहे हैं तो, so there is a markup percentage as well. What is markup percentage? It is the difference of marked price and cost price as a percentage of cost price. So as a percentage of cost price. So these are the famous three percentages which are used. Percentage profit or loss, percentage discount and percentage markup. For two of these, the base is cost price. For one of these, the base is marked price. That makes it an important point, right? That for two of these, the base is cost price. For one of these, the base is marked price. And in questions of profit, loss and discount, let me tell you, जहां प्रॉफिट लॉस एंड डिस्काउंट के क्वेश्चन आते हैं, यू कैन ऑलवेज डू वन थिंग, यू कैन ऑलवेज रिलेट इट विद द रियल लाइफ, एंड आफ्टर रिलेटिंग इट विद द रियल लाइफ यू कैन अज्यूम सम वैल्यूज. You can always do that. That rather than just straight away going with the numbers, you can do things. Okay, let us assume this guy has purchased 40 articles. Let us say this guy has purchased each article for 150 rupees or 160 rupees. And how do you decide that? How many articles should I assume? What price should I assume? That would depend upon the question. If the question says that, okay, a guy purchased some articles, he sold 1/3 of the stock at this price, 1/4 of the stock at this price, and remaining stock at this price. So 1/3, 1/4 is telling me that I should assume a stock which is a multiple of 3 and 4. So that easily I can do 1/3 and 1/4 of it. Right? Similarly, if he says that, okay, on few of them he's giving 15% discount, on few of them he's doing 20% markup, assume a price such that it's 15% and 20% can be calculated easily as an integer. Do not assume the price as X or the stock as Y and then start solving it. That will always make your job difficult. So always try to assume numbers in questions of profit, loss and discount. And when can you not assume the numbers? Suppose the question has given some absolute values of rupees. Somewhere he says that by selling his stock ultimately he gets a loss of 132 rupees. And you assume that, okay, let us assume the price is 100 rupees. No, you can't do that. An absolute value is mentioned. If he says 1/3 of the stock is sold at this price, 6 items are sold at this price, remaining articles are sold at this price, I cannot assume the total stock as 12, 20, 24. Nahin, because 6 absolute value is there. So where absolute values are not there, you can assume it. If they are there, you can't. You can take anything, whatever you want. This will always make your job easy. Kuldeep has a question. I haven't studied probability. Should I leave it now? Yes, you may, Kuldeep. But though I would always suggest take one day, do some basics of it. Okay? Do not go deeper into it, but at least do the basics so that at least you can do the easier questions. I assume CPBX, then sometimes it happens that there is one absolute value. Satyam, in that case, you can do one thing. If there is one absolute value and you have taken the assumption, do not use that absolute value. Without that absolute value, whatever around it is given to you, calculate all of that and then calculate what value comes out for you, which he has given as an absolute value. Are you getting my point? Suppose the question says the price of an article is increased by 20 rupees and further 20% discount is given. Because of this, the person is having 10% loss, right? So what is the cost price? I have assumed the cost price is 100. Now I would not increase it by 20. Rather, what would I do? He says it is increased by something, but after increasing, he gave 20% discount and then he had 10% loss. Okay, 100 ka cost price hai, 10% loss means 90. This 90 comes after giving 20% discount. So what should have been the price such that 20% discount ke baad 90 bane? And then you see that price is how much more than 100. Question says it should have been more than 20. Then use the scaling and get the answer. That can be done. Okay? But of course, those things can be done with a good practice only. Straight away, we cannot do this. Okay? Hi Frankie Ramdayal, hi Kavita, hi Danish, very good evening guys. So profit, loss and discount, I would say is primarily percentages. There is no specific concept for this. Just keep these things in mind, cost price, selling price, ki kiska base kya hota hai. If that is there in your mind, you would be able to work with it. Okay, let's move forward. Next application is in simple interest, compound interest. ठीक है, इसमें क्या एप्लीकेशन है? द फॉर्मूला फॉर सिंपल इंटरेस्ट P इंटू आर इंटू टी डिवाइडेड बाय 100, यू ऑल नो. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट का फॉर्मूला यू ऑल नो, बट वन कॉमन मिस्टेक दैट मेनी पीपल मेक इज this minus P is needed if you want to write the formula for compound interest. ठीक है, this minus P is needed for the formula of compound interest. In simple interest, you don't have to subtract it. So we remember these two formulas, yahan tak sirf, but this is the formula for interest and this is the formula for amount. So unless you subtract P, you won't be able to get the interest. That's a common mistake that people make. So please keep that in mind. ठीक है, amount is interest plus principal. Okay. Frankie Ramdayal sir, लोग कहते हैं एक मंथ में निकल जाता है कैट. Is it possible? फ्रैंकी रामदयाल, एक्चुअली फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, ठीक है, कि एक घंटे में भी कैट निकल सकता है. डिपेंड ये करता है दे कौन रहा है. ठीक है, बस इतनी सी बात है, सबका अलग अलग लेवल. Okay, so now when I talk about a few other things which are required apart from these. So first thing is that simple interest is same for all the years. That's a very important point. Simple interest is same for all the years. Second, compound interest is always in GP series for all the years. I mean, if I talk about the compound interest of first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, they all would be in GP series. Even the amounts in case of compound interest, they would be in GP series. For both of these GP series, the common ratio will be 1 plus R by 100. So mostly I tell this to my students, if you are doing a question based upon compound interest, you just divided something by something and you got 1.2. ठीक है, तुक्का मार दो, 20% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है. बिकॉज मोस्टली वो जो रेशोज आते हैं ना, वो 1 plus R by 100 ही आते हैं. बाय डूइंग समथिंग यू गॉट 1.13 और कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, 13% ऑप्शंस में है, मार दो. द चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग अ राइट आंसर वुड इंक्रीज. एटलीस्ट दिस मच कैन बी डन. ठीक है, सिंपल इंटरेस्ट फॉर ऑल द ईयर्स इज सेम. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट के केस में दी CI increases in GP, CI for nth year is in GP series and amounts are also in GP series. For all the GP series, it is R common ratio is 1 plus R by 100. Okay, not a problem ever, कोई issue नहीं है. Measuring factor, what is measuring factor? I didn't get your point, Kuldeep. Measuring factor कहीं लिख दिया गया मैंने कुछ ऐसा. Okay, so this is about SICI plus. There have been questions on SICI in CAT where they have talked about the difference of SICI. So let me just tell you about that as well. It might be useful for you. If I talk about 2 years, the simple interest and compound interest, they differ by PR square divided by 100 square. But I would want you to learn it this way as well. This is interest on first year's interest. This is interest on first year's interest. एक साल का simple interest and compound interest, they are the same. For 1 year, SI and CI are the same. For 2 years, they are not same. The difference between them is given by PR square divided by 100 square. Third, if I talk about 3 years, compound interest and simple interest, they differ by 3 PR square by 100 square. Sorry, plus PR cube by 100 cube. And let me just erase it from here. 3 PR square. ये ध्यान रखना, this is the difference of 3 years. It is not the difference of third year. If he says third year, यहां 3 की बजाय 2 लिख देना. If he says 3 years, तो 3 ही लिखना. This is the difference between SI and CI for 3 years. This might be used many a times in the questions based upon SI CI. Honestly speaking, I have hardly seen any questions in CAT exam which are based upon those kind of things where compound interest का question है, interest is compounded semi-annually या फिर quarterly. Those kind of questions I have rarely seen in the exams. So you can skip those. उस पे ज़्यादा मेहनत मत कीजिएगा, छोड़ सकते हो आप उसको. This is all about compound interest and simple interest. ठीक है. हाँ देखो, वैभव ने बाय चांस ये क्वेश्चन उसके बाद पूछ भी लिया. आई थिंक वैभव, आई हैव ऑलरेडी आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन. लेट अस मूव फॉरवर्ड नाउ. द नेक्स्ट इज रेशियोज एंड इट्स एप्लीकेशंस. Ratios में there are no formulas. We did not have any formula to write. What do I write? If I have A is to B, I have B is to C. How can I calculate A is to B is to C? Should I write a formula for that? Should I write a formula for alternando, invertendo, componendo, dividendo? Should I write those? Should I write a formula for those things की income और expenditure का ratio given है, तो income would be whose saving would be more, whose saving would be less? Those are kind of questions which are to be done. There is no formula in that, right? So if you go into ratios, hardly any formula would be there. The only thing that you can use is in averages. Averages में हमारे पास again normal formula we all know what is to write over there, that average of n numbers is sum of n numbers divided by number of numbers. Weighted average is something which is important, so therefore we have written it. So w1 x1 w2 x2 up to w9 xn upon sum of all the weightages, right? Every weightage multiplied by its observation divided by sum of all the weightages. This is the formula to find the weighted average. Now in averages or in ratios, I do not find anything which is specific to tell you that okay, see this thing is there. ये दिमाग में रखना था तुम. जैसे मैं पिछलों में बताता आया हूं, though there are a few things that probably I might talk about. जैसे if A is to give, B is given, B is to C is given, C is to D is given, D is to E is given, and the question is asking you about A is to E. ठीक है. Where from A started? यहां से. Where from E ended? यहां से. Multiply all the first terms of all the ratios. ठीक है. Which are called क्या बोलते हैं उसको, antecedents, right? And multiply all the consequents of all the ratios. You will get A is to E. This is something that might be helpful for you sometimes. मतलब मान लीजिए this ratio is given as 2 is to 3, this ratio is given as 3 is to 5, this ratio is given as 6 is to 7, and this ratio is given as 35 is to 10, sorry, whatever, I mean कुछ भी 9. Then you can easily figure out that what would be the final ratio of A is to E. I can straight away multiply all of these. I can straight away multiply all of these. The ratio of those two would be the answer. What is the ratio of B is to E? B is to E का रेशियो क्या है? B से स्टार्ट करो E तक के, multiply all of them, you will get the ratio of B is to E. If you ask for A is to D, multiply the first 3 ratios, you will get A is to D. These are some of the basic things which might be used. हाँ, एक और चीज, that is, if you have A is equal to 2B is equal to 3 by 4C is equal to 7D, what is the ratio of ABCD? If some numbers are equal, the ratio of ABCD is given by reciprocal of their coefficients. So I am writing these things so that at least you don't waste your time during the exam solving these or proving these properties. That should not be the scenario. उसके लिए मैं ऐसा करके लिख दे रहा हूं. So ABCD ratio is given by 1 is to 1 by 2 is to 4 by 3 is to 1 by 7. एक और formula, if you have something like this, that A by B is equal to C by D is equal to E by F, suppose these all are equal to K, then sum of all the antecedents, that is A, C, E, etc., and sum of all the consequents B, D, F, etc., this would also be equal to K, provided denominator is not 0. CAT has asked questions upon this, so therefore I am discussing this with you. They have asked questions on this. Okay, so now I'll take up some questions from you guys. आपने कुछ लिखा हुआ है. कुलदीप क्या कह रहे हैं? सर मेरे मैथ वीक है तो मैं VRC और LRDA पे फोकस कर सकती हूँ. दैट्स ऑन योर स्केड्यूल. कविता, आपने क्या स्केड्यूल बनाया हुआ है अपने लिए? आई डोंट नो एनीथिंग अबाउट दैट कुलदीप. व्हाट इज दैट? एंड होल स्क्वायर और आर स्क्वायर, PR में सिर्फ R पे स्क्वायर था पीयूष वहां पर. डिसऑनेस्ट शॉपकीपर वाले क्वेश्चंस वेरी रेयर VM, वेरी वेरी रेयर. इसके ऊपर पूरा इसी चैनल पर है. हाँ, उस पर मैंने किया भी हुआ है. आई थिंक देयर आर 2 सेशंस दैट आई हैव टेकन. यू कैन ऑलवेज फाइंड दैट आउट हियर ऑन YouTube ओनली. एक मंथ में QA कवर हो सकता है. आई ऑलरेडी आंसर्ड दैट. अपेक्षा एक दिन में भी हो सकता है, एक साल में भी नहीं हो सकता है. डिपेंड करता है आप लोग कहां पर हैं ऑलरेडी. ठीक है. सो कैन यू गो टू दिल्ली इन 1 hour? ठीक है. इफ माई क्वेश्चन इज, ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन इफ यू आर जस्ट 2 kilometers अवे फ्रॉम दिल्ली. ऑफ कोर्स यू कांट इफ यू आर सिटिंग इन लंडन, राइट? सो ये बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करेगा. यू वॉन्ट बी एबल टू आंसर दैट दिस वे. Component and dividend concept, I think it is useless concept. Sharat, again CAT would not be asking you about this. Just don't worry about it. छोड़ सकते हो उस चीज को पूरा पूरा. Let's move forward. Ratios and its applications now in allegation. Allegation is something that all you would have studied. This is an important topic, right? The formula, I hope all of you know this, that quantity 1 divided by quantity 2 is concentration of 2 minus the median concentration divided by median concentration minus the concentration of 1. concentration कह लो, characteristic कह लो, cost price कह लो, marks कह लो, wherever you are using it. So where we use allegation, एक बार मैं फिर बता देता हूं. You are mixing any 2 groups in which there are some people or there are some liquids or there are some solids or whatever mixtures are there. कोई भी 2 ऐसे mix कर रहे हैं. There is a certain characteristic of this group which is an average characteristic. Average characteristic matlab which is distributed equally among all. When I say it has 70% milk, it is an average characteristic. When I say it is 32 per kg, it's an average characteristic. When I say the average age of the group is 47, so it's an average characteristic. दोनों की कोई अगर average characteristic है, इसकी और इसकी, those are called C1 and C2. And what exactly average characteristic we want, that is the mean one. ठीक है. Use this formula and you will find out that strength of those groups is in what ratio, जिसको मैं Q1 by Q2 कह रहा हूं. That is the strength of those on which it depends. Allegation is an important topic, so you have to pay attention to this. अच्छा, कुछ और questions आ गए हैं अभी. Thank you Arya. I am unable to see the sessions. It's been loading. कुछ internet issue हो सकता है साइंसरन, I suppose. Can you explain the last formula again? Are you talking about this formula? I think I have already explained it, Simran. Okay, and time and work का एक concept बता दीजिए. 2 men 3 women वाला आएगा शायद. We have taken a question, उसके through we will be discussing it. Let us see Simran if we can do something about it. Installment पे till date only 1 question has appeared in CAT, so again not very important topic. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता अलमीन. देयर इज नो डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर जिसमें बता दूं कि ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये नहीं है. सम आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, आई कैन से दैट. बट इफ यू आस्क मी ओके टाइम एंड वर्क एंड टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट, यू कांट से किस पे ज्यादा आएगा किस पे नहीं. SICI इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. SICI इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज छोटा सा टॉपिक है. अगर उस पर 2 क्वेश्चन भी आ गए, दैट मेक्स इट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट देन आई वुड से. Okay ji. Similarly, there was a formula of replacement as well, if you guys remember. Though here we have written the formula when it is written in the form of a lot of variables, it looks difficult, है ना? The way it has been written. So if there is a vessel with T liters of liquid, M and A liters are withdrawn and equal amount, तो ऐसा देख के मुश्किल सा लगेगा. But I hope you all would have done this in the classes. So I'll just talk about this once, like the session. So they are telling you to do something, so please do it for me guys. There is a solution from which I take out something and then I replace by something else. So what happens? For that this formula is, let me just make this formula easy for you. A few things that I want to talk about. पहली बात, whatever things are there inside it. It can be A is to B, it can be B is to C, milk is to water, alcohol is to water, or juice is to water, whatever. Normally water is always there if you see. So if I write something like, let's say milk is to water ही लिख लेते हैं क्योंकि आजकल यही चलता है ना, तो इसी के बारे में मैं बात कर लेता हूँ. So milk is to water का अगर कोई रेशो है and what is he replacing with? First of all, you will see what is he replacing with. He is replacing with milk or he is replacing with water. Normally he would not replace with both. Okay? He would not replace with both. If he replaces with milk, you will find out the water out of total. If he replaces with water, you will find out milk out of total. पहली बात. If he replaces with milk, you will find out water out of total. क्वेश्चन चाहे पूछे कुछ भी, फॉर्मूला यू वुड अप्लाई ऑन दिस. इफ ही इज रिप्लेसिंग विद मिल्क, यू विल फाइंड आउट वाटर आउट ऑफ टोटल. इफ ही रिप्लेसेस विद वाटर, यू विल फाइंड आउट मिल्क आउट ऑफ टोटल. दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू डू. एंड व्हाट डू यू गेट इट? द क्वांटिटी टेकन आउट इज व्हाट प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ क्वांटिटी इनसाइड द वेसल. लेट अस से इनसाइड द वेसल यू हैड 80 liters. क्वांटिटी टेकन आउट इज 16. सो 80 का 16 इज हाउ मच? 1/5. So if it is 1/5, you are left with 1 minus 1/5. चाहे ये केस हो चाहे वो केस हो, you have to do this. He does this again, square it. He does this third time, cube it. He does this fourth time, take fourth power, so on and so forth. What you have to take care of, first thing is, जो quantity replace हो रही है, you would not work on that, you would work on something else. समथिंग एल्स का जो उसके अलावा जो बच रहा होगा उस पे काम करोगे. एंड यू विल सी व्हाट प्रोपोर्शन इज टेकन आउट. व्हाटएवर प्रोपोर्शन इज टेकन आउट, व्हाट इज लेफ्ट इज 1 माइनस दैट. निकाला क्या, उसके बाद बचेगा क्या? 1 minus 1/5. सो व्हाटएवर यू आर डूइंग, यू हैव टू वर्क लाइक दिस जितने बार भी ये प्रोसेस होती है. तो बट एक और चीज, इनिशियली मिल्क एंड वाटर वर इन ए सर्टेन रेशियो. लेट अस से दे वर इन ए रेशियो ऑफ 3:2, राइट? So if I am working on water, I will see initially water was 2/5. So I will start by 2/5. If I am working on milk, initially water was 3/5. I will start from 3/5 and then I start working with them. उनको मल्टीप्लाई करना फिर हम शुरू करते हैं. This is the concept of replacement. This is what I am telling you, which is written over here. तो वेरिएबल्स में ना पढ़ के मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादा आसान हो जाता है ऐसे देखना. So therefore writing like this. Okay, I'll take up some questions now. क्या क्या कह रहे हैं? महिमा सेठ कह रही है okay, and mostly ask questions solve करिए. We'll just come to that. Deepak now, sir, thank you very much. Umang Sharma, Apurva, I'm joining this first time. It's not felt before in college. Oh, thank you Apurva, thank you. Allegation process से question हो जाते हैं. Absolutely प्रशांत, very very important topic for us. ठीक है. अपूर्वा ने 3 बार पूछ लिया है हाउ टू क्रैक कैट पढ़ के. अपूर्वा बाय स्टडिंग एंड बाय स्टडिंग, तीनों क्वेश्चंस का आपका आंसर ये है. सो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. नेक्स्ट, टाइम, स्पीड एंड डिस्टेंस. क्या ये फॉर्मूले होते हैं? स्पीड इज डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम, एवरेज स्पीड इज टोटल डिस्टेंस अपॉन टोटल टाइम. व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज द वे ऑफ सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चंस. फॉर्मूले में क्या लिखा है, यू ऑलरेडी नो दिस, ठीक है. बट यस, अबाउट एवरेज स्पीड आई वुड टेल यू समथिंग, दैट इफ द टाइम्स आर सेम फॉर सम स्पीड्स, मतलब मान लीजिए S1, S2, S3 स्पीड का टाइम सेम था, द एवरेज स्पीड इज गिवन बाय S1 प्लस S2 प्लस S3 डिवाइडेड बाय 3. इफ द डिस्टेंसेस आर सेम फॉर द 3, इफ द डिस्टेंसेस आर सेम, अगर 2 होते इट वुड हैव बीन 2S1 S2 अपॉन S1 प्लस S2. अगर 3 होते इट वुड बी 3S1 S2 S3 अपॉन S1 S2 प्लस S2 S3 प्लस S1 S3. ये बस मैंने ऐसे लिख दिया तुम्हें दिखाने के लिए कि मुझे बहुत आता है, बट एक्चुअली वी डोंट यूज इट दिस वे. इफ ही सेज डिस्टेंसेस आर सेम, स्पीड्स आर गिवन, अज्यूम अ डिस्टेंस विच इज डिविजिबल बाय दोज स्पीड्स, ठीक है, एंड डू दिस टोटल डिस्टेंस अपॉन टोटल टाइम. मतलब वो कहता है ए पर्सन इज कवरिंग सेम डिस्टेंस एट स्पीड्स ऑफ 40, 60, 80. तो एक काम करो, 40, 60, 80 तीनों का कॉमन मल्टीपल इज 240. सो लेट अस टेक फर्स्ट डिस्टेंस इज 240, सेकंड डिस्टेंस इज 240, थर्ड डिस्टेंस इज 240, टोटल हो गया 720. फर्स्ट इज कवर्ड एट ए स्पीड ऑफ 40 6 आवर्स, एट ए स्पीड ऑफ 60 4 आवर्स, एट ए स्पीड ऑफ 80 3 आवर्स. तो टोटल टाइम है ये, टोटल डिस्टेंस है ये. डू दिस. व्हाई वुड यू रिमेंबर दैट बिग फॉर्मूला? उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. वो करना पड़ता है ऐसा, जो ना थोड़ा बहुत तो मारना पड़ता है ना फट्टा, तो इसलिए कर लेते हैं हम लोग। What in case of 3 solutions? छाबड़ा जी, as again I say, generally those things would not be asked. ये पक्का ही मतलब कैट अथॉरिटीज के बारे में मत सोचो, उनका काम हमें परेशान करने का, they don't do that, ठीक है। They would just give you those questions which can be solved logically. And logic stops there when you start making it extremely difficult or lengthy. Questions would never be lengthy. They would be logical enough and to be done within 1 or 2 minutes. उतना ही करके questions देते हैं हमेशा। शिवानी कह रही है प्लीज आंसर, और शिवानी तुमने पूछा क्या है जिसका मैं आंसर करूं? कहां है तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन? दिख नहीं रहा मेरे को, एक बार दोबारा भेजो, प्रोबेबली आई हैव मिस दैट, ठीक है, कहीं रह गया वो बीच में मेरे ख्याल से। चलिए जी, सो नाउ वी स्टार्ट विद द क्वेश्चंस। रिलेटिव स्पीड वगैरह के बारे में आप लोग ऑलरेडी जानते हैं। Cross, oh yes, how can I miss this formula? Actually last year in CAT there was a direct questions based upon this, and not only last year, before that as well, many a times we have seen questions which have been based upon this formula. What is this formula telling you? That one guy is coming from this direction, one guy is coming from that direction. Important is they start at the same time. Important is that they start at the same time. So two people start running towards each other and दोनों के दोनों they start at the same time. Of course they would meet somewhere. Let us say they meet at this point. After meeting at this point, this is person number 1, this is person number 2. After meeting, this guy takes t1 time. After meeting, this guy takes t2 time to reach their respective destinations. उसका destination है ये और इसका destination है वो. What is the ratio of their speeds? The ratio of their speeds is given by square root of inverse of the ratio of their times. Normally speeds are inversely proportional to times. Here also speeds are inversely proportional to time. The only difference is अब की बार square root और आ गए, because these are the times taken after meeting. इस पे बेस्ड डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम्स में पूछे गए हैं. सो कीप दिस फॉर्मूला इन माइंड, दिस विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू, काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. गुड इवनिंग अग्री, आई एम गुड. What is the number of questions in CAT this year? Deepak, no information about this till now. अभी तक किसी ने कुछ नहीं बताया है. We are assuming, ठीक है, सभी लोग assume कर रहे हैं कि 20 से 22 हो सकता है, because somewhere someone told that okay, it has been told that probably the number of questions might decrease. There मतलब don't be surprised कि आपको वापस 25-26 देखने को मिल जाए. ये भी हो सकता है 20-22 हो जाए, हो सकता है easy करके 30 कर दें. Who knows what is going to happen? There is a question of write 4 minus write 4 plus write 4. How to do it when fourth power equation? Rakshana, that is a question from CAT, I think, which you are discussing. This question is actually done using options only. जो भी question है ना, उसके options देखना, उससे आपका आंसर आएगा. अगर आपने कहीं देखा है तो रूट 13 प्लस 1/2 आएगा. उसको ध्यान से देखिएगा तो उसमें आपको दिखाई देगा कि कोई मतलब ऐसे ऑप्शंस आंसर हो ही नहीं सकते. रूट 4 प्लस समथिंग अगर है तो आंसर 2 से बड़ा आना चाहिए और आंसर 3 से छोटा आना चाहिए. एक ही ऑप्शन आता है उसमें. दैट वे यू विल गेट एन आंसर फॉर दैट. कुलदीप विल बी हैविंग सेशंस ऑन अलजेब्रा, ज्योमेट्री एंड एवरीथिंग बेस्ड अपॉन दोस. ठीक है, इन द कमिंग डेज सब कुछ करने वाले हम लोग. नो छाबड़ा जी, नो सच थिंग, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Let's move with the questions now. Here comes the first question for all of you. I would want all of you to answer this question and then we will discuss it along. साथ मिलके इसको फिर डिस्कस करेंगे. All of you please try this question. I am seeing you after long time, Rakshana, ना, इसलिए so I forgot it. Yes, Prashant. There was a direct question based upon that. Therefore, I told na कि there was a question based upon it. So these sessions will be having 20 sessions in the coming days. Keep coming to these sessions, and as I told you, we'll be discussing all the topics, English, LRDI, Quant, everything would be discussed in these topics, in these sessions. सब कुछ हम लोग कवर करेंगे एंड वी आर टेकिंग क्वेश्चंस which are most probable questions for CAT. They are formed on the basis of the previous year's questions that have appeared in CAT. This is one of those questions from those years, I mean based upon those only. Exactly those kind of questions that appear in these exams. Danish has given an answer as A. Shubhraj says 44%, that is B. Shagufta says A. Agrim says B. सद्दिन का एक मॉक ठीक है, मंगेश बिल्कुल भी नहीं, वीक में 3 से ज्यादा मॉक नहीं देने चाहिए. महिमा says B. We have got some answers. Let's start discussing it. ठीक है? Rakshana says 44. Snigdha says B. Okay, let's have a look at this question now. Question says, in 2018, in a particular school, 25% of the students got more than 90% marks in the class 10th board exams, while in 2019, the number of students who got more than 90% marks in the class 10th board exams went up by 5 percentage points. Find the percentage increase or decrease in the number of students from 18 to 19 who got more than 90% marks in class 10th exams if the number of students in class 10th also increases by 20%. Honestly speaking, this is how I do this question. अगर मैं एग्जाम दे रहा हूं तो मैं ऐसे करूंगा, पहले I would read completely, I'll make a picture. क्या हो रहा है, 2018 के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, 19 के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, 18 में how many students got more than 90%, 19 में how many got more than 90%. This data is given. So 2018, 2019, he says that 2019 में students 20% increase हुए. Let us say they were 100 here, so they became 120 here. In 2018, 25% of the students got more than 90%. तो more than 90% कितने students का आया? 25% of it, that is 25. Next year, it got increased by 5 percentage points. I hope all of you know 5 percentage point means absolute increase of 5 in the percentage. अगर ये 20 था तो 5 बढ़ के it will become 30. So 30% of 120 is 36. So what is the percentage increase here? It is 11. 25 पे 11, 25 के 4 times पे 11 का 4 times. So the answer is 44% increase. So the right answer is 44% increase. ठीक है? You might say, sir, ये easy लग रहा है, यहाँ easy लग रहा है, ठीक है? Because you know you are not in the actual exam. When you're sitting in the actual exam, you do the question completely and then you always have this doubt at the end. कहीं गलत तो नहीं हो गया है ना? इतना फटाफट कैसे आ गया? You do it again and sometimes in the second attempt you make mistakes. That generally happens. Let's move forward to the next question. Question number 2. Here it is. It's a question from profit loss and discount, theta based question. Type in the answer. Theta based question. I would like to see how fast you answer and how do you answer. फटाफट आपको करना है. सिर्फ 5% बोला होता सौरभ तो वो 25% का 5% ऐड हो जाता. If it was not 5 percentage points, it would have been 25% plus 5% of 25%. तो वो बन जाता 26.25%. जो भी 30 बना हमारा वो 26.25 बना होता. So it's a question on false weights. Someone just talked about it a few moments back. Do we have questions based upon those or not? So now because we are discussing about it, I'll tell you about this as well. Okay? There's a simple concept through which you can make all your questions easy, which are based upon false weights. Saurabh has got the answer as 62.5%. Sahil has also got the same answer, that is 62.5%. We have not got any answer on the YouTube. Both the answers came on the app. Satyam Verma says 56. People who have got the answers, please like the session. People who did not get the answer, please like the sessions. Rajesh got 62.5. Sharat Chandra got 62.5. People who are not solving it, what would you do? Like the session. And if you are doing it, okay, please do it after liking the session. So Rajesh got 62.5, then I see Vicky got 62.5, Sharat, Agrim, Rakshana, Sharat, बहुत सारे लोगों का 62.5 आ गया है. So let's discuss this. A rice trader buys rice from a wholesale dealer and sells to his customers. He buys rice at a certain price, but cheats the wholesaler by taking 30% more than what he pays. He sells rice at the same price, but cheats the customer by giving 20% less than what he charges for. Find his overall percentage. We have two things. ठीक है, सो पूरी पिक्चर दिमाग में बन गई. While purchasing he purchases 30% more, while giving he gives 20% less. ठीक है, the simple logic that we have discussed in the previous sessions as well. Anyone who have not done this session with me of false weights, I use one single concept, that is, if you have a profit, write SP larger, CP smaller. If you have a loss, write SP smaller, CP larger. Simple, ये उसका चलता है. So he got 30% more. 30% more का मतलब in place of 10 he is getting 13 और profit है, so write 13 by 10. To customers he is giving 20% less. That means in place of 10 he is giving 8. लेकिन इससे भी profit है. Profit means 10 by 8. बस 10 से 10 कटा, you got 13 by 8. मतलब 8 रुपीज पे 5 रुपीज का प्रॉफिट है, which is 62.5% profit, and that becomes the answer for us for this particular question. Sorry. जल्दी बताइए. आई होप यू ऑल हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस एज वेल. मैं थोड़ा सा तेज चल रहा हूं जानबूझ के, सो दैट वी कैन कवर मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस इन टुडे सेशन ओनली. ठीक है, because of course we have a limit of 1.5 hours. We already are 1 hour. 1 hour is already there. चलिए, let's move forward to the next question. Question number 3. फटाफट let me see who answers it fastest. I'm sorry Vishal, I just saw your message, but we have already moved on. I mean, you can always check it later. That's the best part of online classes. If something has been missed, you can always go and check it later. And see, they are again telling you, do like the session and share with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. The other two things you can do later, but liking the session can be done at any point of time. और 2 बार मत कर देना. Why 10 by 8? Why not 12 by 10? Alamin, because he said he is giving 20% less. क्या 10 से 12 20% लेस है, या 12 से 10 20% लेस है? नहीं ना. 20% लेस is 10 and 8. It is not 12 and 10. So I'm still waiting for the first answer. The moment I get the answer, I'll start doing it. Sharat Chandra got the answer as D, 20% loss. Vicky got D, which is again 20% loss. Let's have a look at this. By giving a discount of 40%, a shopkeeper made a profit of 20%. If the shopkeeper had given a discount of 60%, how much profit or loss would he have incurred? ठीक है, let's talk about it. By giving a discount of 40%, इसका मतलब 100 पे 40% का डिस्काउंट दे रहे हो, तो कितना आ गया? 60. A shopkeeper made a profit of 20%. ये किसी से 20% ज्यादा है, किससे? 50 से. If the shopkeeper had given a discount of 60%, 60% का डिस्काउंट देते हैं, कितने में बेचते हैं? 40. How much profit or loss? तो 50 पे अगर 40 आ रहा है, that what is the loss? It is 20% loss. So therefore our answer is option D, which is 20% loss. Absolutely correct. Simple numbers. और सही बताओ, कैट में ऐसे ही numbers वो देगा. You don't think अच्छा वो ऐसा कहीं दे देगा जिसमें आपको तो आसानी से दिख रहा है that 60 is 20% more than 50. What if he gives 63 and it is 17% more than a number? How do you figure that out? They won't do that. I've told you before as well, they are not looking for clerks. They are looking for managers. They'll give you comfortable numbers which you can work with easily. That's the main motto. Let's move forward to question number 4 now. Here is question number 4, which is based upon simple interest and compound interest. So many people gave the right answer for that previous question. Sharat Chandra, these all questions are based upon the previous year's CAT questions. We just took questions from previous years and created questions around them. So you can say there is a good possibility the questions this year would be very close to these. Concept wise, और आप ये भी बोल सकते हैं difficulty level wise, they would be very very close to these. So I think some people have answered D for this as well. Have you answered for this as D? Simran got D, या फिर पिछले वाले का आंसर अभी D आया है? Both the Simrans have given D as the answer. Agrim says 6D. Kuldeep also says D. So many people are getting D. Let's discuss it. Ratio of the amounts under simple interest. Ratio of the amounts under simple interest for 6 years and 4 years are in the ratio of 19 and 16. ये है 6 years का, ये है 4 years का. Then what will be the ratio of the amounts for the same period under compound interest, principal and the rate of interest being the same? तो इसके केस में क्या होगा? Let's talk about this. ठीक है? First of all, the ratio is 19:16 for 6 years and 4 years. In 6 years, your money has become 19. In 4 years, your money has become 16. So can I say you have got 3 rupees interest in 2 years? Is that right? In 2 years, you have got a interest of 3 rupees. In 2 years, you got 3 rupees. So in 4 years, you must have got 6 rupees. That means your principal must have been 10 rupees. Simple interest में we did this. Simple interest is same for every year. So for these 2 years you got 3. So previous 4 years you must have got 6. इसका मतलब your principal is 10. Now what? He says that what will be the ratio of the amounts for the same period under compound interest, principal or rate of interest अगर same होते हैं. So now if it is 10, after 4 years it would have become how much now? We don't know the rate. Rate तो नहीं पता है. The point is I got 6 rupees in 4 years. If I got 6 rupees in 4 years, so in 1 year I got 1.5, and 1.5 means 15% of 10. So my rate percentage is 15%. In 4 years my money would become 1.1 to the power 4 into 10. In 6 years my money would become 1.1 to the power 6 into 10. ध्यान रखिएगा, we have to find amounts. अगर interest की बात होती, I would have subtracted the principal as well. क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग यू फॉर ए रेशियो ऑफ दीज. ये दोनों कैंसल आउट हो गए, 4 से स्क्वायर पे कैंसल आउट हो जाएगा. अल्टीमेटली माय आंसर वुड बी 23/20 का स्क्वायर इज टू 1. 23 square 529, 20 square 400. So therefore the answer is option B, which is 529/400. I hope all of you got this. It is an easy question, but perfectly cat based question. This is what cat asks you. Perfect cat based question. If you find it easy, I would say you will find cat easy. ये प्योर कैट टाइप का क्वेश्चन है, बिल्कुल वैसा आता है. कुछ नहीं पता, शायद इस साल आ जाए. ठीक है, अगर ऐसा आ जाएगा तो आपको आइडिया मिल भी जाएगा. बट आई एम टेलिंग यू बाय माय एक्सपीरियंस, कैट डज आस्क यू सच क्वेश्चंस ओनली, एंड नॉट मेनी पीपल गेट राइट आंसर्स फॉर दीज क्वेश्चंस. आप में से कितने लोगों का सही आंसर है? मतलब जिनका आया सही आया, बट हाउ मेनी पीपल हैव आंसर्ड? ओनली 6 or 7 people have answered. Okay, so this could have been answered by each and everyone for sure. जल्दी कर देना चाहिए था. Let's move ahead now. Move to question number 5. We have done a question on SICI. Let's move forward. Take a screenshot of this, or later also you can check these questions. Do this, a question on averages. Let's have a look at a question on averages. And please take it out from your mind कि अच्छा वही है जो difficult है. नहीं है ऐसा. अच्छा वो है which is logical, that can appear in the exam. अच्छा वो है जो relevant है. Whatever is relevant is good. Most of the students keep feeling this. अरे ये बड़ा difficult है, ये तो घर जाके भी नहीं हो रहा. This must be good. All of you try to answer this question. I want to see who answers it fastest. The moment you are done, please like the session. The more you like, the more you share, your Diwali would be better. कोई तो लालच काम करेगा तुम्हारे लिए. Any answer? Till now I have not seen any answer from anyone. No one has answered till now. Is it difficult? Should I start doing it? Saurabh says last line. Find the average of the largest and smallest of these numbers. Is there a problem, Saurabh, in that? Siddharth got the answer as D. Agrim got the answer as B. Kushal got B. Rishi Chuk got C. Ujjwal got C. Satyam got B. We are getting B and C here. Siddharth got B now. Let's have a look at the question. Dekhte hain. The average of 7 consecutive even numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If there are 7 numbers, can I say average is the middle number? 7 consecutive even numbers are there. The middle number is the average. Is twice the average of 6 consecutive odd numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. तो 6 consecutive odd numbers का average का double है. तो 6 consecutive odd numbers होंगे, उनका average बीच वाले दो का average आएगा. It is the average of the middle two. If the absolute difference between the averages is 20, this average, he says, average of 7 consecutive numbers is twice the average of this. ये इसका twice है and the difference is 20. Can I say this average must be 20 and this average must be 40? Right? This must be 20 and this must be 40. If this is 40, this must be 42, this must be 44, this must be 46, this must be 38, this must be 36, this must be 34. If this is 20, can I say they must be 19 and 21 because they are odd numbers? This must be 23, this must be 25, this must be 17 and this must be 15. Question is, what is the average of the largest and smallest? Largest is 46, smallest is 15. Their sum is 61 and 61 का मतलब ये है, your answer is option D. 30.5 is the average of those numbers. That's the correct answer. But why so many people have taken so much of time to answer this question? Still many of you have answered it wrong. ऐसा क्यों? Prashant and Arya, you both got the wrong answer. Why so? Vicky got correct answer. Saurabh, you also got wrong answer. Rishi corrected it later to 30.5. Saurabh Kumar, you got the wrong answer. Harshit got the wrong answer. Saurabh Kumar got the wrong answer. So the question was not that difficult. I hope it is not difficult. All of you have understood this. If any one of you has any question, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll move forward to the next question now. Anyone is having any question or should I move forward? आगे बढ़ जाऊं? That was question number 6 for us. Okay, so I don't see any doubts to anyone. So let's move forward to question number 7 now. It's a question on ratios. Let's have a look. How many of you are able to answer this fast? Question number 7. I would like to see who answers it first. The actual exam is also a competition. So start feeling it from here only. How did you get 40? Simran, it was given that one average was double of the other and the difference between them was 20. दो नंबर जिनमें से एक दूसरे का डबल हो, डिफरेंस 20 हो, ऑफ कोर्स दे वुड बी 20 and 40. By that logic I got 40. Now the question that you see on your screen, such a question has actually appeared in the previous years. As I told you, such questions have already appeared in the exam. Vicky has got the answer as B, 6,30,000. Lakshmi Yadav has got B, which is again 6,30,000. Anyone else? Agrim also has got B. Caselet का क्वेश्चन लग रहा है. It's an easy question. Prakriti Goyal got B. Vicky, okay, got it that way. That's right. चलिए देखते हैं. So what does the question say? It says, last week Aman, Baman and Chaman played a game of gambling at Royal Casino. That's an important point, that they play a game of gambling. What happens in gambling? In gambling, all the money is distributed between them only, right? इस आदमी का पैसा उसके पास चला जाएगा, उस आदमी का पैसा इसके पास आ जाएगा. Total money with all the people, it would always remain the same. That's an important point. If the starting amount between them was in the ratio of 8:7:6 and amount at the end of the game was in the ratio of 765, starting 876 से थी, end में 765 था, और उसके बाद कुछ कुछ दिया है. What is the total amount? The point is 8 plus 7 plus 6, that is 21. 7 plus 6 plus 5, that is equal to 18. So total amount should be a multiple of 21 as well as a multiple of 18, right? The total amount should be a multiple of 21 and should be a multiple of 18, क्योंकि ultimately तो same रहना है. Now this is not a multiple of 21, this is not a multiple of 21, this is not a multiple of 21. This is the only option which is a multiple of 21. That is your answer. It's a question of 10 seconds. Though of course there are other ways as well to do this question. आप इस total amount को 126 मान लेते, right? इसको भी 126 मान लेते. So you can easily calculate them in terms of integers now. वो आराम से calculate हो जाएगा. मतलब 126 distributed in a ratio of 8:7:6. This would be equal to 48. This would be equal to 42. This is 36. And 126 distributed here, it is equal to 49. It is equal to 42. It is equal to 35. He says one of them won 5,000. Who is that guy? This has to be the guy. This guy did not win anything. This guy lost something. The only person who can win is this person. He has won 1 rupee according to us. Question says he has won 5,000 rupees. So whatever we are assuming, actually everything is 5,000 times of that. तो जिसे मैं 126 मान के बैठा हूं, the total amount is 5,000 times of that, which is 63,000. Why should it also be a multiple of 18 as well? Mahima, it is because whatever amount was initially there, it has to be there the same at the end. Amount to same hai, right? So because this ratio adds up to 18, so amount must be a multiple of 18. This ratio adds up to 21, so amount must be a multiple of 21. By that logic, I am saying that should be a multiple of 21 and 18. Okay? हालांकि ये जो मैं बोल रहा हूं, this is 99.99% correct in 99.99% of the cases. Though figures can be in decimals as well, right? Still it can be 5,000. Still my answer can be something else which is not a multiple of 21 or 18. But the chances of happening of that is very, very less. I mean, you can always take this much of risk. The chances of that is like matlab having an accident on the road. But how many times you stop driving because of that? Because of the fear of that, okay, I might meet an accident. So वैसी सी कहानी है. Don't just worry about it. उसके बारे में सोचना भी मत. Let's move forward to the next question. This was B as an answer. So I think we should do some questions which are based upon. इसको नहीं करते हैं. Just take a screenshot of these. You can also take them later on as well. So I want to do some questions which are based upon yes, time and work, and something based upon time, speed and distance, because we have not done those, है ना. जैसे तो एक बार ये ट्राई करो जरा एक बार. हाँ दीपक, 126 was the LCM. 21 और 18 दोनों का the LCM was 126, therefore I took it as 126. अरे ले लो रिस्क, कह रहा हूं विकी में, रिस्क है तो रिस्क है. इट विल हेल्प यू. Rakshita, 126 was the LCM of 21 and 18. First ratio was a multiple of 21, second ratio was a multiple of 18, so I took an LCM of 21 and 18 and hence 126. Saurabh has got the answer pretty fast. That's good, Saurabh, quite fast. And this question I found brilliant. Perfectly cat type question. Perfectly. You would say, sir, आप तो खुद ही अपने questions की तारीफ करते रहते हो. Now, though these questions are not made by me, our content team has worked on it, but they have done wonderfully well. So we have got till now only one answer from Saurabh, that is 26.5. कुशल कह रहे हैं लास्ट क्वेश्चन थीटा में आ सकते हैं क्या? मतलब ये क्यों ऐसा सवाल आता है, मतलब क्यों नहीं आ सकते, मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं. मतलब व्हाट इज द रीजन ऑफ लास्ट क्वेश्चन नॉट बीइंग इन थीटा? क्यों नहीं आ सकते लास्ट क्वेश्चन थीटा में? कुशल, ये कैसे आया तुम्हारे दिमाग में सवाल? If he is winning by all the ratio of the decreasing. Kuldeep, if the ratios are decreasing, it does not mean that the number is decreasing. Two numbers are in a ratio of 3:4. Now they are in a ratio of 1:2. Does that mean they have decreased? The answer is no. Okay, let's start doing this. Kushal Jain कह रहे हैं I did not ask this question. Kushal, you are not the only Kushal on earth. There is other Kushal as well who asked this question. तो जिसने question पूछा, you would know that I am asking this to him. चलिए, let's do this question. Kriti, Priti, Suriti and Dhruti, what a name. Working together can complete a work in 20 days, but they decided to work in a particular manner. At first, each one of them will work alone with 50% efficiency on each day. Then, they will work in pairs on each day for every possible pair. Then they will work in groups of 3 on each day for every possible group. Finally, they worked together and completed the work. In how many days did the work completed? Let's have a look at this. The question says that if Kriti, Priti, Suriti, Dhruti ये सारे मिलके काम कर सकते हैं 20 days में. So it's as good as Kruti working for 20 days, Priti working for 20 days, Suriti working for 20 days, Dhriti working for 20 days, then the job would be completed. Or in 20 days all 4 work together. भाई अलग अलग काम करो या इकट्ठे कर लो, काम तो basically would be done in the same time. Okay? Now, कैसे काम करना शुरू किया? At first, each one of them will work alone with 50% efficiency on each day. So on first day, Kriti will work, she will work half of what she can do in a day. Priti will work half of what she can do in a day. This will do half of what she can do in a day and then half, because they are working at 50% of their efficiency. So first 4 days they worked like this. Okay? अच्छा कुशल, सॉरी कुशल कह रहे हैं कि लास्ट वाला क्वेश्चन हाँ आ सकता है. आई एम रियली सॉरी कुशल, मुझे ये नहीं पता, मुझे लगा तो कह रहे हो कि लास्ट में टीटा आ सकते हैं कि नहीं. मैं इसलिए थोड़ा सा डर गया इस सवाल देख के. That was quite possible. Sorry. Okay, then they will work in pairs on each day for every possible pair. So what are the pairs? How many pairs would be there? 6 pairs. K, P, K, S, K, D, P, S, P, D, S, D. ऐसे 6 pairs बनेंगे. In these 6 pairs, can I say they would work for 6 days? On one day, one pair would work. On one day, one pair would work. On one day, one pair would work. ऐसा करके 6 days काम करेंगे. On 3 of the days, K would work. On 3 of the days, P would work. On 3 of the days, S would work. And on 3 of the days, D would work. Is that right? I hope all of you are getting this. On 3 days K, 3 days P, 3 days S, and 3 days D. This is how they are going to work. Next. Then they worked in pairs of 3. है ना? then they will work in groups of 3 on each day for every possible pair. अब 3 3 के कितने pairs बनेंगे? 3 3 के कहने से 4C3 pairs बनेंगे, that is 4 pairs. That means now on the next 4 days 3 3 के pairs काम करेंगे. One day KPS would work, one day KPD would work, one day KPD would work, and one day KSD would work. And again 3 of the days K would work, 3 of the days P would work, 3 of the days S would work, and 3 of the days D would work. And then all 4 work together to complete it. So in how many days the work got completed? Now this is the question. Now look at this. K has worked for 3 days, 3 days, half day. 3 and a half means 6 and a half days he has worked. He has to work for 20 days. So he still have to work for 13.5 more days. Same is the story with this guy, this guy, this guy. That means all of them have to work for 13.5 days more. All of them have to work for 13.5 days more. So what is the total number of days taken by them? 13.5 plus 4, 17.5 plus 6, 23.5 plus 4. 23.5 plus 4 is 27.5. So my answer is option C, 27.5. Please ask me if you have a doubt in this question. I am very sure many of you might have a doubt in this particular question. थोड़ा सा lengthy भी हो गया है. So quite possible किसी को कोई doubt आया हो. So if any one of you has any doubt, please let me know. Any question? I saw like they all work same time, same power, same efficiency. So same, so बाकी तो आसान था. You can do so. Absolutely, Saurabh. This can be done. Assume कर लो all 4 are working exactly with the same efficiency because everything is being worked with them together. अच्छा, काफी लोग कह रहे हैं रिपीट करने के लिए. So let me repeat it once. फिर रिपीट करता हूं मैं. ध्यान से सुनना. K, P, S and D working together can complete a work in 20 days. That means if all 4 work together, 20 days में the job would be done. So in a way I can say K will have to work for 20 days, whether with someone or alone. P has to work for 20 days, S has to work for 20 days, D has to work for 20 days. The job would be completed by doing this. ऐसा करने से हो जाएगा. हुआ क्या? At first, each one of them will work alone with 50% efficiency on each day. So on first day, K worked at 50% efficiency. So can I say K could do only half of what she can do in a day? Same is with P, S, D, but they took 4 days. First day K alone, second day P alone, third day S alone, fourth day D alone. Then they will work in pairs on each day for every possible pair. Pairs matlab 2 people every day. If 2 people every day would work, there would be how many pairs? 4C2, that is 6. And in these 6 days, pairs would work. So क्या pairs बनेंगे? The pairs are KP, KS, KD, PS, PD and SD. So can I say that K will work on 3 days, P will work on 3 days, S will work on 3 days and D is going to work on 3 days. Isn't it? ऐसा ही है. So therefore 3 days ये, 3 days ये, 3 days ये, 3 days ये, 2 total days लग गए 6. Similarly after that they worked in pairs of 3. ये लिखा हुआ है. Now they will work in groups of 3 for each every possible group. तो 3 के पेयर में काम करना शुरू किया. अब 3 के कितने पेयर बनते हैं? 4 pairs, 4C3. The pairs are KPS, KPD, KSD and PSD. इसमें भी K is working for 3 days, P is working for 3 days, S is working for 3 days and D is working for 3 days. So they all have again worked for 3 days. But total days कितने लग गए? 4 pairs ने काम किया 4 days. So till now we see that K has worked for 6.5 days, P has worked for 6.5, D and S सबने 6.5 काम कर लिया. करना था 20. So how many more days are left? 13.5. So now if they all 4 work for 13.5 days, the job would be completed. तो टोटल डेज लग गए 13.5, 4, 6 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. सबको ऐड कर दो, you get the answer. कुलदीप, to group them easily you can use permutation combination. 2 के लिए 4C2, 3 के लिए 4C3. Immediately you get 6 and 4 by that. Okay everyone, so we will do one more question today and after that we'll close the session. Okay, I don't want to cross the limit, so we'll do a question which is on time, speed and distance. You can just do these questions by yourself. Take a screenshot and you can start doing them at home. मैं चाहता हूँ क्वेश्चन हाँ ऐसा करने का. A question which is based upon time, speed and distance. Let's have a question on this, and this is the last question of the day. I want to see who answers fastest. कीजिए, उसके बाद we'll close it. One last question, you must answer it pretty fast. The moment you answer it, please go and like the session. उसको मत भूलना. That's always important. Keep doing that. You must have done such questions in your preparation classes as well. Common kind of questions. Such a question appeared last year in CAT as well. Kushal gives the answer as D. Okay. I would like to have a few more answers before I start discussing them. Oh yes, I just didn't pay attention to that, Kushal Jain. By the way, Kushal Paliwal had given the answer. Kushal Jain has told me that option A and C are same. That's absolutely correct. Should we start doing them now? करना शुरू करें. Agrim also got D. Let's have a look at the question now. करना शुरू करते हैं. Every day Chunilal drives his Lambretta scooter. Lambretta एक याद है, मतलब पहले आता था एक चौड़े से मुंह का. His Lambretta scooter at a certain speed and reaches his shop exactly on time. One day after traveling a certain distance, is slowed down to 4/5 of his actual speed and reached his shop 20 minutes late. Had he slowed down to 3/4 of his initial speed, 15 kilometers further on, he would have still reached 20 minutes late. What is his actual speed in kilometer per hour? So this is his house, this is his shop. Okay? So one day after traveling for some time, let's say one day after traveling a certain distance, he slowed down at 4/5. तो यहां से his speed became 4/5s, right? And reached his shop 20 minutes late. So if the speed becomes 4/5, can I say the time becomes 5/4? I mean, if the normal time is t, today the time taken is 5/4t. So now can I say the extra time taken is 5/4t minus t? And he says he is 20 minutes late. So this is equal to 20. Yahan se I get t is equal to 80 minutes. That means the normal time taken to cover this stretch is 80 minutes. The normal time taken to cover this stretch is 80 minutes. Second scenario, he says had he slowed down 3/4 of the speed 15 kilometers further on, यहां से भी 15 kilometers आगे, had he slowed down at 3/4 of his speed here, so of course today he would have taken 4/3 of the time. अब की बार time को मैं कुछ t1 मान लेता हूं, because of course now time would be of this time only. Previously it was this time, now it is this time. So if this time is equal to t1, today it is 4/3 t1. So what is the extra time taken? 4/3 t1 minus t1, and this time also he is 20 minutes late. So this is also 20. So t1 is equal to 60. So 60 minutes is the time taken to cover this stretch. 60 minutes is the time taken to cover this stretch. 80 minutes is the time taken to cover the whole stretch. इसका मतलब 20 minutes is the time taken to cover this 15 kilometers. 20 minutes is the time taken to cover this 15 kilometers. 20 minutes में 15 kilometers, so 60 minutes में 45. That means he can cover 45 kilometer in an hour. That should be your answer. Why many of you are getting 48 as the answer? I didn't get that point. ये समझ में नहीं आया. Why are you doing that? कुछ तो मिस्टेक की है. I don't know what mistake have you done. Probably you have taken 4/5 here as well, or what? Okay. So this was not a difficult question, but this was the last question of the day that I wanted to discuss. Again, a beautiful question, exactly the kind of questions that CAT asks you. जैसा आपसे CAT पूछता है. So we have taken some more questions, though it was only 15. There are 4-5 questions more. I'll be showing those questions to you now. You can take a screenshot of those, and after that we'll close the session for today. And as I told you, we are having the next session on the coming Saturday, that is day after tomorrow, of Matrix and Arrangements by Pranav sir of LRDI. So this was all from my side today. Please have a look at these questions and take a screenshot of these. You can try them by yourself at home. Okay, these are important ones. As I told you, these are all those kind of questions that can appear in your exams. Okay, so have a look at these questions now. Take a screenshot. Later on also you can do that, because these would be available with you. The 19th question, and this is the 20th question. Okay everyone, so that's all from my side. So this is all that I have already told you, and that's all from my side. Okay, thank you very much guys. See you soon. I'll be with you after a few days in the next session. As I told you, on Saturday you will be getting the complete schedule on which day which class would be there. So just be present on Saturday and you'll get to know about all the upcoming details of the sessions. That's all for today. I hope you liked the session. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share it with more and more people who are appearing for the exam. Thank you very much guys. Have a very good night. Bye bye.